Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ryder, and this is a beginner's guide to Cassidy. In this guide, we're going to be going over the basic abilities and playstyle of Cassidy, and kind of go over strengths, weaknesses, tips, and tricks to the hero, so that you can kind of dive into quick play and competitive, and kind of have an idea of how he works without walking in and looking like an idiot, not knowing what you're doing. Keep in mind, in order to master heroes in Overwatch, it does take practice. It does take hours of practice and mastering and learning the outs of how that hero works. This is just a basic bare bones, foundation to get you started, so that you're not going in completely blind. As always, guys, if you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe. Check the description down below, where I have my Twitch channel link, where I stream pretty regularly as well. But without further ado, let's jump into Cassidy. Alright guys, so Cassidy is a DPS hero, and he is what is considered a hit scan hero. Therefore, that basically means that he is able to track a target with their little crosshairs and able to really focus in targets. His primary fire is his 6-shot revolver, his Peacekeeper revolver, that basically does a pretty respectable amount of damage from a distance. You can land shots from pretty far away with this thing without very little damage drop-off. Headshots, of course, do a lot more damage. Keep in mind the recoil does make it a little tricky to land some of the shots. But, I mean, as you can see, you can pick off people with this pretty easy. Now, if you're close to the target, you also have your Fan the Hammer, which is your secondary fire, and it just makes you fire all 6 shots in rapid succession, doing a ridiculous amount of damage in no time at all. This is a good way to mow down tanks if they get too close. Any other DPS that just get a little bit too close to you. Fan the Hammer is a deadly ability that just really melts targets. You also have your roll, your combat roll. That says a 6-second cooldown, and it's a good way to evade fire, but it also has a secondary ability of reloading your gun. So, a good thing to do with McCree is while you are firing your gun off, if you get low, as you can see I have 2 bullets left, I can roll, and now I have 6 shots in my gun again, and I can keep shooting. So, keep that in mind with your combat roll. Try not to just use it whenever you are getting low on ammo and you are trying to finish off the target. You can roll in and keep firing. And then you have your magnetic grenade. Now this is a big change. If you played Overwatch 1, he no longer has his flashbang stun grenade. He now has a magnetic grenade, which is like a sticky bomb. You throw it down, it does splash damage to anything that it hits. This has about an 8-second cooldown approximately, and it also does more damage when you stick the target. As you can see, that just about killed that bot. But it's a good way to either finish off a target that's low health, or get a target low enough to where you can just one-tap them in the head. Very useful tool. Not as good as flashbang in my opinion, but it is still pretty strong. And then of course you have his ultimate, which is Deadeye. Deadeye is a it's a fun ultimate to play with. It's very hard to land if you're not careful. Because what he does a very loud voice line, and I like to say he likes to glow like Jesus, because it's basically what he does. He becomes Cowboy Jesus, and he starts to glow. When he does this, you will see, and I will show you here in just a second, you will see red targeting circles around all enemies in his field of view. And that circle will start to grow smaller to a little dot. Now, your goal is to allow that circle to become that dot and then fire off. Want to try and get as many people in your field of view as possible with this ultimate, because if you do, you will one-tap pretty much everybody you hit with this. So I'll kind of show you here with, I'll just show it with these. I hit it, do these targeting circles, and then I can just go, bam. As you can see, I dropped all 4 of these bots with the one ultimate right there. Now, this is a dangerous ultimate to toy with. Keep in mind that you are 100% vulnerable. You're not able to move when you're doing this. Well, you can, but you move very slow. You are glowing. You're like a beacon to target at. So you need to be smart about this. Don't go in front of the enemy team and be like, here I am, and be like, Deadeye. And you're not going to hit it. McCree is one, or not McCree, sorry guys, Cassidy is one that is very deadly and tricky to play. He's, in my opinion, one of the higher skill cap heroes to really get used to.
You had it coming.
You want to try to flank, go from behind, be in smart locations with it, and make sure that they don't know where you're at when you pop this off. Because I guarantee you, when they hear it's high noon, they're going to either A, take cover, or B, they're going to start looking for where you're at. And if they spot you, you're a dead man. They will absolutely wreck you. Especially if there's somebody who can interrupt that ultimate. Like Brigitte, who can knock him backwards. Anna, who can sleep him. You know, all of these things are just disgusting to McCree. You don't want your ultimate to be interrupted. It will
really
devastating if it happens. As far as tips and tricks with McCree, I've already kind of covered, you know, the Deadeye trick, the reload with the roll. The only other thing I can really tell you is whenever it comes to firing with McCree, I personally find it better not to spam the primary button by holding it down like you would Soldier 76. I find it better to, like, hit it each initial time. Like, don't hold down the primary button, hit it each time, if that makes sense. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? In my opinion, that allows you to line up your shots easier when you're doing that, and it allows you to kind of space out your shots and know where you're aiming at, if that makes sense. As far as strengths and weaknesses with Cassidy, strength-wise, he's very strong against the airborne heroes. Echo, Terra, both of those heroes struggle very greatly with a good McCree. A good McCree will shut them down. Anybody who really can't get in super close to him very quickly can also struggle against Cassidy. I keep wanting to say the other name. Against Cassidy, you know, like May, Reaper, those heroes. You know, they require getting in close to really land good damage on him, and a good Cassidy will be able to just shut them down before they get close enough for it to be a problem. Weakness-wise, he's kind of weak against anything with a shield. Sigma, Reinhardt, things with shields that block his damage will take a lot of his value away. So if you notice that the enemy tank is very good at keeping his shield up and he's nullifying a lot of your damage, and you know your friendly DPS isn't really counteracting it very well, it might be a good idea to, you know, consider playing a different hero for that game. Remember, this is a counterplay game. It's not a one-trick game. Don't stubbornly stick to a hero just because that's what you enjoy playing. Pick what is smart for the given situation. The only other tip I can really give you as well, whenever it comes to McCree, is you don't necessarily have to wait for the targeting circle of Deadeye. And I said McCree again, didn't I? Cassidy, good lord. Anyway, the targeting circle of Deadeye, it doesn't necessarily have to become the red dot for you to fire it off. If you start getting focused, just fire off what you got and get out. Better than dying. You're still going to do a pretty good amount of damage. I'll kind of show you here. If I don't do it, as you can see, I dropped one. I brought these two to half health. It still gives an opportunity for your team to be able to capitalize and maybe finish them off because your ultimate got interrupted by whatever. Either they're focusing you or you have to disengage for whatever reason. If you fire off whatever you've got charged, you'll do something instead of nothing. But don't get yourself killed. But with that, guys, that is your guide to Cassidy. Hopefully you guys liked the video. Please like, comment, subscribe, check the Twitch channel out, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Out.